Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, let me tell you about my Tuesday. I had a 2 o'clock meeting that was honestly the kind that could put a golden retriever to sleep. So naturally, I grabbed a coffee at like 2:30, powered through, felt great. And then I stared at the ceiling until midnight, wondering why my brain wouldn't turn off.
Right, and here's what I've learned, Emma. That is not a personal failing. That is actually a fairly predictable biochemical outcome. And the science behind it is genuinely fascinating.
See, this is why I keep you around. So today we are talking about caffeine timing, something called adenosine sensitivity, and why that afternoon coffee might be doing far more damage to your sleep than most people realize.
And the research here is surprisingly specific. This isn't just caffeine keeps you awake. The mechanism is considerably more nuanced, and once you understand it, you genuinely cannot unknow it.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, because I had to look this up and my mind was blown. What even is adenosine?
Right, so adenosine is essentially your brain's sleep pressure chemical. Every hour you are awake, adenosine builds up in your brain. The more it accumulates, the sleepier you feel. It's your body's natural way of saying, okay, time to wind down.
So it's like a tiredness meter that fills up throughout the day.
Exactly. And here is where caffeine comes in. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It blocks adenosine receptors. It puts a little molecular cork in the drain, so the tiredness signal can't get through.
Wait, so I'm not less tired, I just can't feel how tired I am?
Precisely. The adenosine is still building up behind the blockade. And when the caffeine wears off, which it does, all of that accumulated tiredness hits you at once. That's the classic afternoon crash.
Oh, that explains so much about my life. Okay, so walk me through the half-life thing, because I keep hearing about this and I don't think I fully understood it until recently.
Right, so caffeine has a half-life of roughly 5 to 7 hours in most adults. What that means is if you drink a coffee at 2 in the afternoon, half of that caffeine is still circulating in your system at 7 or 8 p.m.
Which is when most of us are supposedly winding down for the night.
Exactly. And this is where Dr. Matthew Walker's research becomes really important. Walker, who is a neuroscientist at UC Berkeley and the author of Why We Sleep, has done extensive work showing that even when caffeine feels like it's worn off, it is still significantly disrupting sleep architecture.
Sleep architecture, define that for people who haven't heard the term.
Good point. Sleep architecture refers to the structure of your sleep cycles, specifically the balance between light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. It's not just about hours in bed, it's about the quality and sequencing of those stages.
And caffeine messes with that even when you feel like you fell asleep fine.
That's the really troubling part. Walker's data shows that afternoon caffeine can reduce slow-wave deep sleep, which is the most physically restorative stage, by up to 20%. You might sleep 8 hours and still wake up feeling terrible.
Okay, here's the thing though. I have a friend who swears she can drink espresso at 10 p.m. and fall asleep in 20 minutes. And honestly, it makes me want to throw something.
Right, and she may not be lying. Genetics play a significant role here. There are variations in the CYP1A2 gene that determine how quickly your liver metabolizes caffeine. Fast metabolizers can clear it much more efficiently. But, and this is important, even fast metabolizers may still experience the sleep architecture disruption.
So she might be falling asleep fine, but not actually getting the deep sleep she needs.
Potentially. The subjective experience of sleep and the objective quality of sleep can diverge quite a bit. This is what makes caffeine timing genuinely tricky to self-assess.
This brings us to something I want to talk about, which is the cortisol angle. Because I have read that drinking coffee first thing in the morning is also not ideal.
Brilliant point, Emma. Right, so this is the work of Andrew Huberman at Stanford and also research on cortisol rhythms more broadly. In the first hour or two after waking, your body naturally produces a cortisol spike. Cortisol is your alerting hormone. It's already doing the job.
So if you're already getting a natural energy boost and you add caffeine on top of it,
you're essentially doubling up and potentially blunting your natural cortisol response over time. Huberman recommends delaying caffeine for 90 minutes to 2 hours after waking to let that natural cortisol peak do its work first.
Which honestly was really hard for me to try. Like, the smell of coffee is my morning. But I did experiment with it, and I noticed I had better, more sustained energy mid-morning when I waited.
And that tracks with the mechanism. You're using the caffeine to extend alertness during the natural dip that follows the cortisol peak, rather than stacking both at the same time.
Okay, I want to ask you something because this is where I push back a little. Is the science on the 90-minute delay strong enough to be a firm recommendation, or is it still emerging?
That's a fair challenge. The cortisol delay research is solid in principle, but the specific 90-minute figure is more of a practical guideline than a hard finding. I would characterize it as promising and logical, rather than definitively proven at a population level.
See, I appreciate that honesty because I think sometimes wellness content oversells the precision of these recommendations, and people feel like failures if they can't follow the exact protocol.
Agreed. The more robustly supported recommendation is really the afternoon cutoff. The research on late caffeine and sleep architecture is considerably stronger. The Johns Hopkins Caffeine Research Group, led by Dr. Stephen Meredith, has done solid work here, confirming meaningful effects on sleep at the 6-hour mark.
So even 6 hours before bed, caffeine is still causing measurable sleep disruption.
That's the finding. For someone sleeping at 10:30 p.m., that means nothing after about 4:30 in the afternoon. Earlier if you're sensitive.
Y'all, if you are finding this as eye-opening as I did the first time I really dug into it, please do us a favor and hit like and subscribe wherever you're listening. It genuinely helps us reach more people who could use this kind of practical, evidence-based stuff.
Deeply appreciated. Now let's talk about practical integration, because I think the no caffeine after 2 p.m. rule sounds simple and is somehow still extremely hard to implement in real life.
Right, because that afternoon slump is real. If I'm not having coffee at 2:30, what am I supposed to do? Just suffer?
So a few things actually help here. First, the slump itself. That post-lunch energy dip is partly circadian, partly adenosine accumulation, and often partly dehydration. Water before reaching for caffeine is genuinely underrated.
I have started keeping a big water bottle on my desk, and honestly, that alone helped more than I expected. Also, I switched to green tea in the early afternoon on most days, which has less caffeine and also contains L-theanine, which kind of smooths the edges.
Good instinct. The L-theanine in green tea does appear to modulate the caffeine effect, producing a more gradual alertness curve without as much spike and crash. There's decent research on that combination.
And for the sandwich generation folks listening, those of you managing careers and kids and maybe aging parents, I want to acknowledge that sleep disruption is probably already a factor in your life from 100 different directions. Being thoughtful about caffeine timing is one lever you actually can control.
That's a really important framing. You can't always control the 3 a.m. worry spiral or the kid who woke up sick. But you can move your afternoon coffee earlier, and that is a meaningful low-cost intervention.
Here's the thing though, what about pre-retirees or folks in their 60s who might be dealing with naturally shifting sleep patterns?
Really relevant question. Research shows that adenosine sensitivity and caffeine metabolism both change with age. Older adults tend to clear caffeine more slowly and may be more vulnerable to sleep architecture disruption. So the cutoff may need to be even earlier, perhaps 2 p.m. or before.
So the older you are, the more important this actually gets, not the other way around.
Counterintuitive, but yes, that's broadly what the data suggests.
Okay, so if you take one thing from today, let it be this. Your afternoon coffee isn't just a harmless pick-me-up. It may be quietly reducing the quality of your deep sleep, even if you feel like you sleep fine. Try moving your last caffeine to before 2 p.m. for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. See what you notice.
Right, and I'll add the scientific footnote. Track how you feel in the morning, not just whether you fell asleep. That's where the adenosine and sleep architecture story actually shows up in your real life. The data, even your own personal data, matters.
Y'all, this has been such a good one. Thank you for spending this time with us on the Wellness Rhythm Show. We genuinely love being your informed friends on this stuff.
And on that note, I'm going to have a cup of tea. It is 11 a.m. here in London, so the timing is, for once, impeccable.
This show is part of the VoxCrea.ai system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to voxcreel.ai and request a sample episode.